Well, good morning and happy Thanksgiving. I hope the day was a good one for you, relaxing and memorable for you and all those who love and whose table you gathered around or who gathered around your table. We had a great time with most of our immediate family, and today, of course, we're recovering. All worth it, though. I spent this morning catching up on your discussion about Romero and have to say that I'm really enjoying it. Each time I teach this class and explore his life and ministry through the thoughtful work that you do and the important questions you raise, I'm once again impressed by both the importance and the difficulty of living a life honestly, with integrity, and vulnerably in a world that seems to affirm other values. Thank you for your good work and keep it up. Some of you have asked about Romero's legacy. On the one hand, it is as if Romero never existed. Headlines like these still exist. El Salvador is the murder capital of the world, and El Salvador's new president faces gangs, poverty, and instability. And it's inevitable that we would wonder, did he have any lasting impact? That's a great question, and it's not an easy one to answer. I think the impact of saints, and he has been named a saint, by the way, in the Roman Catholic Church, it's greater later than while they live, which is what might cause some people to choose not to be a saint. But if you'd like to know more about that, I've posted a URL on Moodle. It's called Archbishop Romero, A Legacy of Struggle for Social Justice. I think it's on week 2. I also think that word integrity, which some of you have introduced into this discussion, is about doing the right thing, regardless of outcomes. Choosing to live your life according to what you believe to be true is a good in and of itself, regardless of whether it results in your death or in a life of significantly good outcomes. Few saints survive without martyrdom. That's a sad fact of our world's history. Yet I think it shouldn't deter right thinking and living people from their right thinking or living, although it does make one think very seriously about willingness to commit. Well, as I noted, we're rapidly coming up on week 3. So let me say a few words about those assignments. We're at Hump Week. It's hard to believe, always surprises me when we get here so quickly. First, let me talk about the film for week 3. There's a shift in the kind of movie that we are watching this week. We move from focusing on particular historical persons, King Henry, Becket, Romero, who find themselves caught up in real demanding moral questions that literally cost them their lives, and we move to the world of fantasy, the ring of the Lord of the Rings from the Fellowship of the Rings from the Lord of the Rings trilogy. It is a kind of surprising shift from reality to myth, but we chose this film because it calls attention to some realities that are more hinted at in the other two. They're there, but not explicit. Yes, there is a hero in this film, but there are also heroes. It's a movie about a fellowship of of heroes. They join together to accomplish a deed of such magnitude that the whole future depends upon it. It allows us to address some of the same questions we've been discussing with Becket and Romero, but from very different perspectives. We also move from the world of philosophy, from Plato and Aristotle, the two fathers of Western civilization and philosophy, to the twin worlds of biblical theology, by looking at the lives of Moses and Jesus. Again, I encourage you to read through the directions that are already posted on Moodle. Read through them carefully. This time you're dealing more with original texts. You will need to access passages from both the Old and New Testaments. There are links to other sources outside of those that can help you to get bigger pictures for both of them. There are some real similarities between Moses and Jesus. You'll see those, not only how they lived their lives, but what they taught. But there are also some important differences. There's also a personal question that asks you which of the worldviews represented in Moses and Jesus is closest to your own. Don't forget the because word. Don't forget to explain why you identify more with one than the other. Or perhaps it's not either or for you, it's somehow both and, but don't forget to explain. Finally, life mapping continues for the second lens of life mapping. This one, the focus is on relationships. The directions on this are fairly clear, so you'll want to read those carefully. There are also options about how you might present this work. I really encourage you to think about those key persons in your lives who, for better and worse, have made a huge difference in how you live, how you choose to live. They may be teachers or pastors, parents or siblings, bosses or co-workers, lifelong friends that you formed a connection with that continues to this day. What this map is about is identifying and reflecting on the persons in our lives who have had the greatest influences on us. Look at the big perspective questions and the directions for your reflective essay. These will help you do the important self-reflection work and help you to talk about the so what question. At this recording of this video, I have not yet reviewed or read any of your first efforts at life mapping with the events section, but I hope you are finding this a valuable process in your own journey. That will happen early next week, but I'm eager to see and read your work on your life's journey. And by the way, blessings for your journey. I'll be in touch.